I wanted to jump on because I teach people how to be in the moment, yeah? How to be in that stillness and the oneness. And as I was gonna have my small bowl of vegetable coconut soup, I just wanted to jump on and just sit and just be, and I just wanted to put myself out there that if anyone was feeling lonely, like, one, I wanted to be there for you, could just sit with you, so hey. And two, I wanted to help you with a bit of methodology. Like, feeling alone is if you're just basing yourself on that you only want to spend time with people, right? But the essence of life is being amongst everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have a lot of people around you, but you might not have any food. And then you won't be worrying that you're not lonely. You'll be like, I'm hungry. Do you know what I mean? It'll be one or the other, right? So if you're lonely, then look around at all the things you have that make your life easier. So like right now, I'm enjoying my coconut veg. And I want to help you. Like, if you're feeling lonely, let me know. In the moments you do feel lonely, what are you feeling lonely about? Not being around people? Because what if you switched it up and then you thought, oh, I got a lot of other stuff. I got a lot of other stuff. Meaning that I'm only basing it on being around people. But what about the air in your lungs? Doesn't matter if you're lonely, yeah? It matters you've got air in your lungs. And then it's like, well, when you start reprioritizing, start refocusing on what you actually need, first and foremost, the breath, for example, then you start building that relationship, that spiritual journey. You start walking it. Can't see if there's any comments here. If there is, and sorry about that, I'm not seeing them. But then you start walking that spiritual relationship where you start realizing that these concepts of even someone saying someone's alone, it can't be true. It's just not true, because it's based on an idea of a social situation that someone's basing it just on being alone without another human, maybe. Whereas if you actually sit with it and say, I'm never alone because I'm always with my breath, then you realize you're having a real experience, You're never alone. Loneliness can't exist if you're accepting that you're on this deeper layer as a light being, You're made of cells. So even if you thought you were alone, if you just sink into being with your heart or your I, and you say, I'm not alone, I've got an I. Then you sink into it deeper and say, okay, what am I? So you go, okay, I can't be alone because I've got an ear and a breath and a lung and a bum. I can't be alone. I'm not alone. I've got all these other things with me. So you're never alone once you start rehumanizing yourself and labeling yourself as what you are really. You've got all these different characteristics. So you're never alone. It's a made-up concept. Because then you ask yourself, once you say, okay, I'm with my eyeball and I'm with my breath, then you say, okay, well, who am I anyway? So if you are made up of all these separate parts of yourself, yeah, you're like, oh, the kidney does a job. You know, whenever someone says to me, oh, the organ's job is, I'm like, that organ didn't choose to do 24-hour-a-day work with no one thanking it, did it? Okay, Lex? Yeah, the job of the kidney. The kidney don't get hired. You didn't hire the kidney, yeah? And if you do have a kidney doing a job, that's working 24 hours a day, 365, my friend. You want to give it a little high five, don't you? You want to say, thanks, kidney, meaning that you'll never be alone. Because you're like, oh, I'm with my kidney. I'm with my kidney. So that's what we want to break down today. You can't be alone. It doesn't exist. Loneliness doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It only exists if you're basing your reality on people, on humans, and you're not delving deeper. You can't be alone. It doesn't exist. What are you? You can't be alone. Even if you're like on that 3D and you're saying, I'm lonely, what for And then instead of focusing on, now if this is still on, instead of focusing on that you're lonely, then you realise that what the loneliness was wanting you to focus on was that you want to feel connection to something. So then you realise that even someone feeling alone ever is not about being alone, it's about wanting connection. Understand? There's nothing in this world that's negative. There's nothing. And if there's ever a concept that needs to be discussed, it's loneliness. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't exist. Okay? So when we're all walking our awakening journey, we're just breaking down concepts that don't exist by digging deeper with ourselves. That's it. Don't ever feel lonely. Don't ever feel like you've got a problem that no one's facing. The only problem is that you're only seeing it as a problem. That's the truth. You've only got a problem if you're only seeing it as a problem instead of seeing it as a guide to what you want to solve. There's no such thing as a problem. There's no such thing as a problem. The problem, in the very moment you realise you've got a problem, in that same moment, you realise there must be a solution. Because nothing's a problem. Because what a problem highlights is that you're trying to get to a solution. So loneliness, if you ever feel lonely, what it's saying to you is that you're here to connect with other things. It's highlighting that you want to connect. There's no such thing as loneliness. What loneliness is the indicator on a high conscious level that you're here to connect. But you're not here to connect just with people. This leave. Okay. This leave. On connect with this leave. But the more to the point that everyone needs to say, I'm not alone. I've got a breath. Got a nose, got a face, got a cheek, got a hair, got a memory, got a thought, got a pain in my neck. Whatever it is to say, I'm not alone, mate. I'm not alone. So that's why I wanted to just sit with you and have a little bit of my supper, just in case someone was feeling lonely. I just wanted to tell them, I don't exist. You're not alone, man. And I tell you what, you know what I redefine alone as? Have you heard this one before? Because I might blow your mind. All one. Alone, A-L-O-N-E, means all one. No such thing as alone. No such thing as loneliness. Loneliness is pointing you to the feeling that you want to connect. So if you haven't got a human being around you and that's why you're feeling lonely, but you realise that you want to connect to something, then guess what? Your breath is waiting for you, isn't it? Your breath's right there saying, I'm here. I'm here. You haven't got a problem. I'm right here. Yeah? So anyone sat there feeling lonely, just say, I got myself. How about that one? How about that one today? I got myself. Yeah, for anyone feeling lonely, say that to yourself. Say, you got yourself. But the truth is that, what are you? Then you look deep and you say, what am I? And that's why I said at the beginning, what are you? An eye, skin, organs. Take it deeper. What are they? Cells, atoms. Take it deeper, as we know. You're light. You know? You're light. But let's not even go that deep today. Let's not go that deep. Let's just say that if you feel alone or lonely, take yourself to this next level to say, it's only because I'm only trying to compare myself that I'm not surrounded by a bunch of people. But that's indicating to you that you do want to be surrounded by a bunch of people, but the right people. The right people. The right people. This is why this society has been set up, to get people confused. Society makes people think that they want to just be around people, but you don't. You don't. You want to be around the right people. Okay? Like they say, you'd rather be standing on your own, like black sheep. You'd rather be on your own than the leader of a bunch of like hypocrites and losers and people, shady people. You'd rather be on your own. You understand that one then? And then you're like, okay, so all the people that maybe have been labelled a loner, okay, maybe you've been a loner yourself, and then you're like, oh girl, I did want to be on my own, and it didn't mean that I'm a loner. it meant that that was guiding me to want to be around the right people. And then until I'm around those right people, I'm going to focus on myself, okay? I'm going to focus on myself and make sure that I feel safe in my body. And then you can tell your soul tribe when you meet them, we were never alone because we've always been trying to find each other. No such thing as loneliness. It doesn't exist. You're not alone. You got all your atoms. You got all your cells. You got your breath. And what's the breath outside you? The air. And where's that air circulating around? The whole galaxy. Do you know what you're breathing in when you're breathing? Cosmos. You're breathing in space. Every single breath you breathe in is literally you're breathing in space. You're breathing in space from up there. Good, Julie, yeah? Good. Everything you're breathing in space. You're breathing in the galaxy. You're not alone, okay? I just wanted to hop on and just do something for people that are struggling in that dimension. Do you know what I'm saying there, people, in that dimension? Do you know what I mean when I say in that dimension? Because we know, okay? So for the people that may be still struggling with the feeling of feeling alone, yeah? For the light leaders on here, we know what that means. To embrace being alone. We needed that time, didn't we? I need to be on my own to figure all this out. And guess what? Being on your own doesn't mean you're on your own, does it? You can never be on your own. There's no such thing as being on your own. You can't be on your own. You can't be on your own. You can only be on your own if you only think that humans' perspective of the entire cosmos is the only perspective. And let's just put this straight. You can only be on your own if your perspective of the universe, the cosmos, is the only perspective. Do you really feel that your perspective, if you feel on your own, is the highest perspective that someone could have in this entire cosmos? You know? Hey, Marianne. This might be a little bit 3D for you. I wanted to jump on and have my dinner with some people. Maybe they were feeling lonely, and I was just like, there's no such thing as being alone, yeah? So if someone's still struggling with feeling alone, then that's because you're only seeing through your perspective. But seeing as you could have any perspective, you could just say, I'm not alone because I'm surrounded by a bunch of houses. Then just have that perspective then. Take it from like start at 0 and just build your way up. Start at 0 and just build your way up. Just don't let yourself stay there stuck based on this illusion of like the most painful things that you could possibly think. Loneliness. Statistic I saw today was like smoking shortened your life by 10%, eating negative food like low food, hi kitty, 20%. Loneliness, you know what the age thing on it was, the statistic, 40%. You're lonely, you die 40% life expectancy low or something. Like in that 3D level, I was just like, wow, that's distortion right there. That's the biggest distortion. You know why that's a killer? Because it's the biggest lie. Because we're all one. Because you can't be on your own. Alone, my definition is all one. ALLONE. All one. That's why it's the biggest killer. Because it's the biggest distortion in the DNA. Hey, the DNA says, malfunction, do not compute, feel, the DNA is rewired to like this complete lie. It's almost like if I was holding a ball, but I was saying to you, I'm not holding a ball. Your brain would be computed and you'd get so confused that you'd say, maybe she's not. So like, we're all one. You can't be on your own. You can't be on your own. It doesn't exist. But someone said to you for like years and years and years, generational trauma and whatnot, has said, you're on your own. And you've gone, oh, maybe I am on my own then. But now we're just reversing it to just say, well, I'm not on my own. I'm holding a spoon. I'm with a spoon. Yeah? This is for people in that dimension that are still feeling like they're on their own. But it's just like, it's time to just speak out and just be like, look, these things aren't real. They're basically you taking the lowest perspective that someone else has said. And I'll tell you what, if you've been told 1 million times you're on your own, guess how many times I'm going to tell you you're not? 2 million, okay? I'm going to tell you it 2 million times, all right? So if you believe the things that you've been told, well, then you're going to believe the things you're going to be told by light leaders, because we're just going to tell you the opposite, the most beautiful things. And even if you say, oh, you're going to program me to love myself, all right then. We'll just program you to love yourself. You know, and the thing with it is, it's like, we're not saying we're right. We're just saying that we want to learn different ways, and we want to learn through basically the opposite of fear of separation. You know, I would say it as simply as that. For anyone like not getting it, just think about it like, well, you've been told that we're separate, and now we're just going to play around with the idea that we're not and just see what happens. And it's not some big spiritual quest. If you can't handle it in that way, just say, I've been programmed to feel separate, and now I'm going to program myself to not feel separate, and just see how you feel. You know? Can't ever be lonely. And the thing is, it's like, even this distortion of loneliness being bad is what's like killing people. It's like we're upgrading all the concepts. Even the concept of being lonely is been distorted, because being alone, you know, in theory, I'm going to be on my own without another human around me. All that means is I'm going to be with the other things that are around me. I'm going to be with the air. I'm going to be more focused on the energy. Yeah? So everything's based on like humans' perspective. And it's just like, for me to get into deep meditation, it's not like I need a human around me, is it? Why would I need a human around me? I need it. So it's like they're distorting it. They're distorting it to make everything seem bad. Yeah. So if you're on that third density, yeah, just think that what we're doing as light leaders is we're upgrading all the distortions. We're upgrading the distortions. One, you can't be on your own. Two, to do inner work, you want to be on your own without human. But three, the perspective of being on your own to do inner work is still based on human, because you're saying, I need the human energy to just be like removed for a bit, for me to focus on what's already there, for me to realise that I'm not ever alone. But the reason that you wanted to be on your own for so long is because the only people you really came here to be around, to actually live in like this abundance love with, is your soul tribe. So it's like, for all the people that I coach, it's like we've all gone through that thing of like not wanting to be, you know, playing a broken system. So we've been on our own, we've been labelled like a loner or something. And it's like, yeah, every single light leader literally has to do that, because they will not entertain a broken system and a lower dimension. I just won't. It's because we knew it wasn't true. You can't live in a society that you know is not true. So maybe you didn't realise, maybe you're a light leader and you didn't realise why you didn't fit in. But now you're realising, you're like, well, I didn't fit into a broken system. Good. And now we're able to help you. If you're still feeling like these concepts are true for you, you are alone, and you don't really understand what that means, to say I'm not alone because I've got my heart, I'm not alone because I'm with my breath, I'm not alone because I'm with a spoon. Well, we're here to help you with that. We're here to just say, look, you keep calling yourself alone, but what's that based on? Hey, John, what's that based on? What is being alone based on? I'm asking you a question now. Please answer it for me. What is being alone based on? Is it based on just basing it on a human to human? You tell me, please. Hey, Marion. If someone says, I'm alone, are they basing it on human to human? It must be, right? It must be. It literally must be. Because if someone was connected to their breath or their heart, they would never speak those words, because it's incorrect. So the concept of loneliness can only be based on one individual's perspective, based on comparing against another. It cannot be someone's own experience. It cannot exist. Once someone even wants to, even if you want to take the perspective of that you're not alone because you have an eyelash, if there's you and your eyelash, you cannot be alone. if you are not basing it on human to human. And that's the simplicity of it. That's the simplicity of the concept, that it's just you navigating through a different perspective to completely eradicate illusionary concepts that are only based on the ego mind of a human. How can humans come up with these concepts just based on themselves? It's so ignorant, it's embarrassing now, and I want to help those people that are stuck in them, because it's not ignorant to be stuck in them. It's kind of like, it's ignorant for people such as myself not to share with you the insights. It's not your fault for feeling alone. It's ignorant for people that know what's true to not help you. Yeah, that's the truth. Someone that's feeling lonely, if you're feeling lonely ever, yeah, it's not your fault. It's not down to you, yeah. It's down to people like us that figure these higher concepts out, these higher ways to meet you, okay? To meet you where you're at. Do you feel that loneliness is true? Or do you understand, maybe from this short video, that loneliness, the whole entire concept of loneliness, could only be considered real based on the opinion of human v human, of there's 10 people and there's one person alone? But if that society lived in a version where they understood that someone might probably base their opinion on that they're with their whole energetic system, their nervous system, their muscular, their bones, that the concept of being alone could never exist. So someone would look in our new society and go, there's 10 humans being free, and there's another human probably in deep reflection on the distortions of the old reality. Exactly, Paul. And I touched on that earlier, that to walk this path, you need the concept of being alone. You need the concept of wanting not to be around the old paradigm. You need the concept. So anyone feeling alone, it's almost like you're being asked, do you want to fit into that? Do you even want to fit into the concept of you're on your own? Because if it doesn't feel good, then you want to break free of that, don't you? You want to kind of put it to the side and say, okay, well, if I'm being told that I'm alone and like this is scary, I want a concept and a way of being that doesn't represent that. And just saying that you're sat with your eyelash works. But also, to go into that deep reflection, you need time on your own. You need time on your own. Exactly, Helen, right? No, we do not. So, to sum this up, because I wanted to have a little bowl of my coconut veg before my wonderful daughter got home. To sum this up, I want to say to you, to tell people, okay, to anchor that into your heart, because this was more based on giving it to people that are probably suffering rather than light leaders, because the light leaders know, you know, girl, you know, boy, you know, alone equals all one. It doesn't mean alone, it's a concept, it doesn't exist anymore. But for the light leaders that are on here, as well as the people that are suffering, speak it. Just be like, there's no such thing as alone. Like, how can you be alone? It's so ignorant of it. Like, I can't even conceptualize alone. What, just based on human to human? What's you saying that we should all walk around with a chain to each other to make sure that we're not alone? Like, I don't really understand. Am I alone if I walk to the bus stop on my own? Is that what you're actually trying to program me? I'm alone if I go to the shop. You know, and on that timeline of making people like shop alone as one, it makes you feel lonely. And it's like, no, am I alone if I walk down the street on my own? Would that society, would they class me as being alone? And it's like, mate, it's time to grow up. Okay? You were born as a sovereign being. Okay, you were born as a unique sovereign being, and that's what it means to stand alone. You're a unique sovereign being. You don't need someone chained to your wrist, okay? The concept of loneliness can be there, but it's a distortion. It's a distortion of your sovereignty, okay? It's a distortion that you're always co-creating with the breath, with everything, okay? So I invite you, I ask you to tell people, okay, to just plant a tiny seed. Just make it even comical. Just say something light-hearted, like, you're never on your own, you're always with your nose. At least your nose is always with you. You know, you've always got your hair. You know, obviously you can deepen it and be like, you can always talk to your heart, you know, like, what would you do without your hands? You'd be pretty lonely without them, wouldn't you? You know, like, you got your arms, you can, you know, you can just meet people on their level, basically. Meet people wherever they're at on their level, just to open their perspective up, that they're not alone. It doesn't mean anything. It means if someone's being ignorant to only base life upon human v human. And guess what? We're not in a freaking game of human v human. We're in a game of human help human, pump human up, empower, inspire, live side by side in the soul tribe, higher vibe tribe, human. Brother, soul, sister, mother, lover, brother, human, you know? So even if there's someone saying they feel lonely, it's like time to help the brother out. And if that brother just needs someone to say, hey, you'd feel even lonelier without your hand. Even if you make a little joke like that to the brother that's feeling sad and lonely, yeah? Just so they go, yeah, you're right about that one. Say it. Say it. However we can help the people that are suffering, and if you do feel like you're suffering right now and you're feeling alone, go back to the beginning of this video and watch it. Exactly right. However you can help someone, meet them on their level. It's not about all ascension or talk this, talk God's source. Yeah, I'll talk God's source. Okay, I'm a channeler. Okay, I go in the quantum and I talk to galactic higher dimensional beings. I do. But that doesn't mean anything less than more than a blade of grass. It doesn't mean anything more than my eyelash. I can't do that without my eyelash. It doesn't mean anything more. So I want everyone to meet everyone wherever they're at with the same truth, a higher truth. You're never alone, even if you're with your eyelash. And guess where they're going to get to by being given that seed? You're going to plant the seed for yourself or for them. You're going to plant the seed that one day they will be channeling God's source and socialising with galactic beings in the quantum. They will, but because you planted the seed, because you gave them a moment of your time, of a higher truth that they could conceive of. Even saying, you got that hand, boy. Okay? I love you all so much, and thank you for sharing my small bit of food with me. And guess what? I hope you walk away and never ever feel that you're alone ever again, and forever you'll say, at least I got my hand, at least I got, not at least, obviously, I mean, I got my hand, I got my eyelash, it's the truth. But in those weak moments, yeah? In those moments you feel vulnerable. Love it. Good, Helen, yeah? Bang on. In those moments, just be like, I got my heart's beating for me, yeah? But more than that, I got my nostril, you know? I got my hairy eyebrows, mate. And you know what the trick is? Then you go like, I'm abundant in hair. And you step it up. Yo, that's how you step up your manifestations. You're like, I'm abundant in hair. Oh, girl. And then you're like, oh, I can never be alone because I've always got my spots. And you go, I'm abundant in spots. Mate, I manifest so many spots, man. I'm so I got so, oh, mate, I got some hair. I'm a manifesting queen, huh? And you speak your truth like that. It's true. It's all true, bruv. All right? But guess how many seconds there are in a day? 86,400. So guess how many times you can tell yourself you love yourself? 86,400. Okay. How many times can you say, I am God's source? 86,400. Okay. And these are... That vibration is exponential growth. You tell yourself it the first time, the second time doubles. You tell yourself it the third time, that's doubled to 6. Okay, that's how you do it, girl. Okay? 86,400. All right. Love you so much. No loneliness, okay? Go and preach it to whoever you need to and just share that on your post right now. Like, loneliness doesn't exist, all right? Tell yourself you love. Tell yourself you're sat with your bum right now. And you ain't alone, all right? Hey, Radka, I gotta go.